Welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls Podcast, where liking what you like is never a bad thing. Here's your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday.
Hey y'all, welcome to the No Guilt Fangirls Podcast. I'm your host and head fangirl in charge, Patty Holiday. This is the Monday Movie Minute for March 16th, 2020. Now, I have a confession to make. I did go out and break the whole social distance thing and saw a movie in the theater. You know, it was a combination of things. I was kind of curious to see if anyone else was going and to see how the movie theaters were handling everything. And also, it was just a really hard week around here, and I just felt like I needed to get out. All of those things, total complete excuses. I should have kept my booty at home, and I will admit that the No Guilt Fangirl feels pretty guilty about going out and doing this. All that to say, this is probably the last movie review that I am going to do where I actually go to a theater because, y'all, we just got to take this thing seriously. We have got to take this thing seriously. So I'm going to keep myself at home. There are plenty of movies out there. Thank you, streaming services, that we can find, that we can talk about, and that we can have some discussions on. I hope you'll hang in with me. I hope you'll maybe find some things you hadn't thought about before, and we can do that together. Apologies to the movie studios, apologies to the movie theaters, but I also think you guys get it and you know what's up. Especially after looking at some of these box office numbers, I think it's pretty clear y'all know what's up. So yeah, that's the status of things as of this morning, and I just wanted to get that out of the way. I will let you know though what I saw and what the experience was like here in Northern Virginia, just to give you an idea of kind of what's going on out there. Oh, the movie I saw Bloodshot. Saw Bloodshot with Vin Diesel, okay? And I'm still going to give you that review, also with the important things like, is it safe for kids to watch? Right now, no, because it's in the theater, so don't take your kids. But I'll give you some more details that could actually be helpful if you choose to watch this movie at a later date, okay? First, let's talk about the box office. Onward is again number one at the box office, but it only took in $10 million this weekend, and that is super low for a Pixar movie the second week out. But it also, again, makes sense because of what is happening with the coronavirus right now. I think people just stayed away. Number 2 was I Still Believe. Number 3 was Bloodshot. Number 4, The Invisible Man. 5, The Hunt. 6, Sonic the Hedgehog. 7, The Way Back. 8, Call of the Wild. 9, Emma. And 10, Bad Boys for Life. I know nobody wants to talk about coronavirus, but we're going to throw it out there anyway. I feel like too many of us did not take this seriously leading up to the point we're at right now. And now it's definitely time. It's definitely past time, but we got to do what we can do, people. And that is really just trying to keep quarantine, keep away from folks you don't know and you don't know where they've been. And that unfortunately does mean things like movie theaters. And, this is bad. The current CDC recommendation says no gatherings of more than 50 people for the next 8 weeks. Now, they're not talking about businesses. That is very important to note in the CDC recommendation. They're specifically, I think, the way I read it, it was talking about, weddings, right? Going to church maybe, things like that. So the movie theater is not being told, close your doors. However, guys, I wouldn't be so surprised if we don't see that happening sometime here in the next week or so. Look at Italy if you need to see how they're living their lives right now. I kind of feel like us in the U.S., we're going to be experiencing that fairly soon, okay? We can't stop this thing, but maybe we can slow it. And that's what we need to do by trying to stay home. So my experience in the theater, and again, like I said, partly because I was curious to see how people were handling things. And of course, yes, I'll admit I was super selfish to go. I wanted to get out for a while. And yeah, I know. Okay, so I went to the AMC. And it's the same one I always go to. And the first thing that I noticed, everyone I saw working at the theater had gloves on. There were 2 different employees working on cleaning, spraying, disinfecting the door handles, countertops. One was in the arcade wiping everything down. That was the same thing I saw when the movie was over, but with 2 different employees. In other words, I think this movie theater was trying to do its best to sanitize and keep things that people are touching when they come into the movie theater as wiped down as much as possible with their disinfectant. So on that hand, plus the promise, AMC did put out that they were promising to limit how many tickets they sold. Therefore, you weren't going to be in a packed theater. There should be some space for you to spread out amongst your people. I felt like AMC was trying to do what they could in this time. In my theater, there was probably between 30 and 40 people. I was by myself. I was able to sit completely by myself. There was actually nobody in my row for about 5 or 6 seats next to me, and I was on the aisle. And I think there was somebody in front of me, but nobody behind me. That was all good. And also in this screening, I did pay attention to it. I was curious. Not a single cough, not even a sneeze. I mean, it was fairly quiet on that level. Which made me feel better about going because it just seemed very asymptomatic. But again, guys, really don't do as I did. Let's just stay out of theaters for now. I hate to say it, but I just feel like this is probably our best step. But anyway, it was a risk. And here's the thing. The reason why I'm saying this is that it's a risk I just didn't need to take. I didn't need to take it. It still may be very small in my area, but there was no requirement for me to go see this movie. There was absolutely nothing that I needed to do at the movie theater that I could have just skipped it, right? I did not need to be there. And that is the key here, okay? That's my takeaway from this. Now, all right, so it's the right call. I know it sucks, and I really feel badly for all the business owners that are going to be affected by this. And I am going to keep my AMC membership going, even though I can't go for the next couple of months. It's a small thing, but if I can help in any way, then guys, you can keep my money for the next couple of months, even if I can't see a movie. All right. I mean, it's very, very minor, but it's all I can do right now. Bloodshot. Let's talk about Bloodshot. Bloodshot can be wrapped up by saying it's a decent movie. It's okay. It's a action adventure, Vin Diesel vehicle. It's pretty much a violent comic book story. Here's the plot summary. Ray Garrison is a military man, and he ends up getting kidnapped along with his wife. The bad guys are trying to get his military secrets from him, and he won't spill, of course. And eventually, they kill his wife, of course. And then, plot twist, they kill him. But he wakes up in a hospital bed where apparently he's been reanimated with superhero abilities as a super soldier. And of course, he has no memories, but eventually they come to him. He starts remembering. And as soon as that switch is flipped, he goes straight out for revenge. IMDb says it's Wolverine plus RoboCop times Memento. All right. And I'd say that's kind of accurate. I also probably liked the movie about the same level as those other movies, which is to say that it's all right. Okay, it's all right, but nothing super memorable. You are not missing anything. Nothing's earth-scorching or anything by staying at home. So again, stay home. Skip this movie. Don't go see it. But when it comes to the streaming channels, or if they do decide, I'm kind of expecting or curious to see if studios are going to make a pivot and they're going to offer some of these movies instead of in theaters, if we're going to be able to buy them and watch them at home instead. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. But anyway, yeah, so Bloodshot, it's a little hokey. It's a very cliche. They even kind of note how cliche they are in the writing. And it's also, I don't know, it's also kind of fun and a little charming at times. I especially like the character of Wiggins. He provided some laughs and smiles. I enjoyed his witty banter, but the rest of the writing, it's not that great, guys. It's really not. The real issue with this movie is that it is a bit rough for a PG-13 level. The violence and gore is a notch or two higher than I'd expect for this rating. And yeah, there's a lot of language peppered throughout. It's mostly coming from one bad guy character who clearly thinks that a 4-letter word is the way to show just how bad he really is. And so, writers, again, I beg of you, come on. You're better than this. Let's come up with another way to express how bad this dude was, all right? Visually, there's some cool stunts, but I have to say it was a little jerkily shot and put together. So if I saw this in 3D, I think I might have had to leave. It might have made me a little queasy. It was that bad. In 2D, it was okay. But like I said before, you aren't missing anything great. This will be a good rental when you get the chance, though. It was entertaining. It was fine. It was fine. All right. Stream it if you are already paying for it somewhere. That's probably the best answer that I can give you there. Parents with kids under the age of 13. I think the issue of the language and the grisly gore are where I'd probably hold off unless your kids are good with that, which I know sounds really weird to say, but I know some are. You also get a little bit of side boob as well, for the touch of nudity that they had to throw in there. It's Vin Diesel movie. I wasn't surprised to see it. If you love Vin Diesel, you're going to like this one, okay? He's not terrible, but it's also not his best. I did find myself cheering for him anyway, but that might also be the Fast and Furious fangirl in me that kind of seeped through. And that's Bloodshot. That's Bloodshot. Stay home. Don't go see it. You can watch it later. You are not missing anything, guys. All right? That's all I have for this week. And if you have a moment to rate, review, subscribe, I would appreciate it. Please don't judge me for going to see a movie this week. I promise not to do it again. And come back and fangirl with us again real soon.